So in a perfect world, I would have started putting this together like, oh, I don't know, a couple weeks ago when I first thought of this. But I've sold a few houses this week. It was a little hectic. So here we are. By the way, I put out that I'm doing this before I put a presentation together. Good job. I tell
you are like your mother.
Well,
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Daniel. I say I'm telling my kids not to procrastinate. And what do?
Oh, selling how many houses? That's kind of a good reason to
Okay,
stop procrastinating. Right. It's like, what do you do first?
Yeah.
I saw your escrow's opening yesterday, Michael.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. EscrowNet thanks you.
Yes. So there's only one. I have only one excuse to what happened, and that is that this has been like a 5 or 6 year journey. I'm going to share with you a little bit of it. I'm going to try not to nerd out too much. If I do, you're welcome to like unmute yourself and say nerd alert. But anyways, so here we go. And again, Mom and Dad, especially in the beginning, you are welcome to chime in.
Pipe in.
You're welcome to chime in. Yes. Okay. So here it is on the screen. Basically, I'm not sure how many weeks this is going to be. I would say probably 3 weeks. This week is going to be kind of an overview of the different personalities. It's going to, some of you that are on the line, like Gabriel, my sister, my mom, Armando, some others, I can't see everybody right now, but some of you know what you learned from Steve Onicki. And as I said in the email, I said, yes, this is a knockoff of that, but it's taking it to different levels. The last 15 years, and I will ask, Mom, when did he first come to the office?
We first met him in Palm Springs in 2000.
2000?
2000, yeah.
That was the Century 21 convention?
No, we just became Prudential.
Oh, hold on. I met him in 1995 at the Centurion event for Century 21.
That's what I thought.
Because I was a top producer for Century 21, and I was invited to this special presentation by Steve Onicki for Centurion agents only, which meant you at that time that you sold over $100,000 or gross close commission 150. That's right, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Back in the dark ages when the average house was 250,000.
Even less than that.
Probably. It might have been less, huh? Maybe 200,000. Okay.
Probably 2. You could buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Northwest Downey for like what, 160 to 180?
Less, maybe. Yeah. Less. Northeast was 250 and above, probably at that time.
There you go. So you met him there, and then after that,
in 2000, we were invited in 2000 when we became Prudential.
Who had lost
we lost touch with him. And we went to a presentation in Palm Springs in 2000. That was the first time your father met him.
Ah, okay. All right. So
I met him before, together with you in 1995.
We weren't with him.
Mom didn't go to Vegas without you?
Sorry, I don't know.
We were together.
We were together, but you weren't allowed to go in.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. So then when did he come to the office, and when did a couple agents on the line see him first?
It would be 2000 or 2001.
Okay. All right.
Because he told us in Palm Springs that he would like to come to the office. And then all the way home, you know, your father, he was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? This is going to be expensive. Your father was fretting all the way home. How much was that going to cost?
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, he came to the office and spoke to us, and I'm going to speak to that a bit before we take it in more directions. So last night I did, if you can see on the screen, that's a picture of Steve. The best picture I could find. And so,
Michael,
yes,
I have about maybe 8 to 10 hours worth of video for the seminar that he gave to our office.
yes. So what I think, so again, today is kind of an overview of different types. And then what we'll do is, if it's okay, next week we'll play like maybe a 10 or 15 minute clip. And
Okay.
or maybe it'll be the whole meeting. We'll see. But he self-proclaimed him. He was of Japanese descent. I don't remember the whole story. But he called himself the Happy Jappy.
He was
He was
third generation Japanese in this country, third generation.
Wow.
And both parents were Japanese.
Okay.
And his parents went to the camps when they sent them in World War II,
Like a concentration camp, but here in the United
whatever,
States.
the internment camps here in the
Internment.
US.
Excuse me. Yes.
I think that's what they were called, internment camps,
Right.
where all the Japanese had to report. Imagine that today.
Yeah. So,
CNN would have a field day with that.
yes, it's true. So he did different types of seminars, but the one he did about personalities really, really resonated with me. And it was like a 3-day seminar, right? I mean, like for 2 or 3 hours at a time?
2 days.
2 day. Okay. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, of course, but just to say it was very entertaining. And the one thing about it that I've taken away all these years later, and again, the point of this topic today and the next couple of weeks is to realize what different personalities, people out there that are in your life, work, family, friends, what have you, that you come in contact with, that you have to interact with, to at least have a better understanding. The one issue with Steve was he gave all this great knowledge, but I think he had a gift. He had a gift beyond what I'm going to teach or what is here, to just read people. You agree?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Just by looking at a person, he could nail you.
yeah.
An agent that worked for us at the time, that shall go nameless right now,
Okay.
he walked into the office. Steve was sitting with me in my office, and this agent walked in. He says, "Oh no, when did you hire him?" And I said, "Oh, he's one of our new hires." And he says, "You're going to regret that one."
Wow.
And of course I did.
Wow.
Initials AA.
I figured.
That's exactly what happened. And I ended up
I figured
firing
too.
the guy. What? What?
I
Jamie said-
figured too. I knew
I know,
exactly who
right,
you were
Jamie?
talking about.
I know, right, Jamie? And I ended up
Yeah.
firing the guy, not only firing him, very rarely, well, I think it's the only one I've ever fired publicly. It was so horrendous. He basically came after me. I thought he was going to hit me. And I turned around, I stood my ground, I turned around and I said, "You are out of here now." In front of the whole, there was probably 10 people, 15 people in the bullpen plus staff. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, can I jump in with a quick story, Michael?
Yeah.
That there was somebody on the phone in the bullpen at that moment. And the agent was
That's
like,
true. That's
no,
true.
no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, she's not yelling at me. No, keep going, ma'am. No.
He was talking to a new client,
Wow.
Oh my God.
So,
That's the truth, Jamie. I forgot that.
I have missed all
Yes,
the good
I will
parts.
never forget that.
Oh, that is so funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but looking back on it, it was pretty funny. The first time our manager at the time, that's the person that Carmen replaced, it was our office manager at the time. She actually stood up because she got out of her chair because she thought he was going to hit me. I thought he was going to hit me. And she stood up to, I don't know what she was gonna do, hold him back, I don't know, but everybody felt that he was gonna hit me. And
Man,
so he was absolutely right, that was a hire that I would regret making.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
that's okay. So the one last interesting part is, so this week we're going to kind of go through them all, and I'm going to attempt to send everybody here tests, like either probably during the week. We'll either do it probably during the week, and then we'll try and reassess by next Saturday, first thing. I think that'd be good. And so I have different tests to choose from, and we'll talk about it at the very, very end, okay? But the one thing about his test that I can't find in any of the other tests was basically, of the different personalities we're about to talk about, there was the real you, there was what you wanted others to perceive of you, and then the last one was how people actually do perceive you. And so that could actually
And
come out in a text.
Basically, that was
Go
the work you, usually the work you, the persona
Okay,
that you present at work. And then your personal life, really, and the person you are privately, because sometimes those are three
there
different
you go.
things.
There you go.
Right.
Thank you. So,
I think
And-
I've taken his class, I think, more than any human being alive, Michael. Do you know who teaches this? Somebody teaches this right now. Do you know who it is?
Julie,
Exactly.
yep, I texted her last night. Don't
She
you
teaches
worry.
this. I don't know if she still teaches, but she was teaching this at Downey Adult School.
She was.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So, and yeah, I just have to preface that with that idea that we're going to learn this. We're going to learn different ways to identify, but that unfortunately, I don't have the ability. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're going to try our best. Okay. All right. So there are 4 types. So I'm going to kind of summarize. And this is the Steve Onicki 4 types. And you're going to see how it's going to work its way into the other ones in a second. So the first type is number 1, which he would refer to as a 1, was a drill sergeant. Is there another word that I'm missing since you're on the line, Mom?
The general.
A general. Thank you.
He
Okay.
called it the general,
Okay. So the general. So I will change that.
right? Wasn't it the general that he called it? I can't,
CEOs.
you know, the CEOs, the generals, the
CEOs,
people that want to be in command at all times.
Fair enough. So these are the types that want to be in control. That's a big word with these people. They want to be in control and dominate the room or dominate the situation.
He referred to them as the Sherman tank.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Oh my
I
God, you're
couldn't
right.
find that. I couldn't remember that.
Sherman tank. Thank you,
Thank you.
Gabriel.
My way or the highway?
And I
That's
wrote
right.
that down as well. I had that. So all words, if for those that have never heard it, Sherman tank, my way or the highway.
Oh, there was one more. He said,
Yeah, here.
shoot first and ask questions later.
Right.
Yes.
Right. My way.
Gabe, how many times did you take his class, Gabe?
At least 3,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Sherman tank thing, I mean, I don't think today anyone has a reference. Is that a reference to something?
A Sherman tank was in, I think, the tanks in World War II, those big things that you see on television when they come in. Like, I think you see it now more in China where what was it? What's tenements?
Yeah,
What's it
okay.
called?
So like
You know, where
big
they come in with the big
Hummer-like
tanks.
thing.
The tanks with those big wheels.
Yeah.
Not wheels. They're not wheels. I don't know. Gabriel, do you know what they're called?
Yeah, he was probably referencing them because they were more like one direction. I think they were like front and back, and it only had, you
What-
know, the
what
head
it was-
Well, no,
but-
they're like
It was all
bulldozers.
power.
If something gets in their way, they just go right over.
yeah,
it.
they just go right,
That's
Right,
why it's a
right
Sherman
through it.
tank.
Okay. So we all get the idea. This is someone that is going to take charge, basically, right? I'm not going to say anything else yet about it, like how it will relate, but we will get there. Number two, Joey and I put this picture in, but Mom, you're on the line. I could have put a picture of my mother. So my mother does not drink, by the way.
No, I don't drink, but he used to say that twos are the one, we love happy hour.
Yes.
So twos are always at a happy hour. And even though I personally don't drink, but the one thing, and I will be happy to do this to demonstrate, when you walk into a party, you will hear this sound. Someone that laughs like that is a two.
So,
Right?
Yep.
I know, I scared my dogs.
So yeah, so they are just, you know, social beings, like to be with people, like a party, a good party, right? Like to be around others. They feed off of being around others. Fair enough?
And that's why during the pandemic, this is about killed me. Because this took all the people away. I know it took it from everyone, but a two suffered the most because we need people to exist.
True. Yep. Okay. Next one. I tried to come up with something, but I did mother hen. So
That's right. It's a mother hen.
there's a picture of taking care of I don't think that's but anyways, here you go. So a mother hen basically is those types that are of a caring nature, more on the steady side.
The person
just,
that wears sensible shoes.
Sensible shoes. There you go.
Your father is a three. He's a 3-4, and we'll go into that later,
Yes.
but he's a 3-4. And how did your father become a mother hen? No. Threes are the steady eddies, mother hens.
Right.
Dad's a steady Eddie, pays their bills on time. They usually drive a car like a Honda, a very reliable car.
Yes.
They wear a Prius, would be a 3.
That's true.
And they wear sensible shoes. The ones that they're in the comfortable shoes. They're never going to be, you'll never find a 3 in 4-inch high heels. Dad stopped wearing heels though a few years ago. Anyway.
All right. So we get that. Okay. So next is 4. So this person returns their rental car and points out every little detail because they don't want to get, they don't want to get charged, right? This is going to be your more analytical person, your more conscientious person. These would be
The bean counters.
the bean count. I was trying not to.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, so you're a bean counter. I mean, it's going to be I'm trying to stay away from talking about jobs, but I just go there. An engineer type, an accountant type, as my mom said, a bean counter. Okay, just very detailed. Okay. So now we got all four on the screen. And so we've got each type. And so I'm going to kind of give you an example of each. I didn't want to, but I don't know why I feel like I should. Okay. I don't know why I like this. I like Steve talks about if you're in a restroom and you're out of toilet paper. I don't know why I like that one.
I like that story too.
So each personality type, if you end up in the restroom and you look over,
You're in the stall.
Yeah. And
You're in the stall.
there's no toilet paper left. So how does each one handle it? The drill sergeant, the Sherman tank is going to just stand up, pants down, open the door, and basically, who the hell didn't fill up the toilet paper? Give me some toilet paper. Just right like that. the 2 will be like this. Hey, you, anyone there? Can someone bring me some toilet paper? Is that fair enough?
Yes,
The mother hen,
Steady Eddie.
the steady Eddie. Okay, I don't even remember. Does this never happen to them?
You don't remember because it
This
never
doesn't-
happens to them because they check before they go into the
Right,
stall.
that's correct. Okay, it never happens to them.
They, 3, your father, I could tell you, he walks into the bathroom with 2 rolls under his arm. Just in case.
Just in case. You're never going to be put in that situation.
Right.
And then, you know, the 4, when the first 2, if they really had to go to the closet and get another roll of toilet paper, when they open the closet, the picky is in there counting to see how many they have left.
No, you forgot.
No.
Okay, Gabriel, do you remember? It never happens to a 4 because they only go at home. They never
Right.
go to a public bathroom or a stall.
That's right.
They hate to go to a stall. They will drive miles to get home to go to the bathroom.
Yes,
That's why you don't remember it, Michael.
right. But I remember him saying, if you know, when you go,
Yeah, but
they're in there with a clipboard counting the inventory of what's left.
yeah, they will too, but they will never find themselves in a public restroom.
That's right. And if you are more analytical and you relate to that, there you go. There you go. All right. So those are the 4 types. So, so now I'm going to move on to DISC. And this is the predominant one that is out there. And I'm going to go back. So, okay, here we go. Here we go. We got dominant in the top left. We got influential in the top right. We've got steady in the bottom right, the S. And we've got in the bottom left, we've got compliant, conscientious, the C. So we got dominant D, I is influential, S is steady, C is compliant. You ready for this? There you go. Same thing. This is Steve Oniki's, and this is DISC. Steve Oniki, DISC. It's the same idea. It's just been kind of relabeled. This kind of came out, also came big, also in about the mid 90s is when this came out. Now, many corporations, you know, employers use this to figure out what you are. And I'm just going to say it.
And by the way, before you go on, Steve, since you're doing Steve's course, Steve used to, was a big speaker in all the Fortune 500 companies. And he started speaking in 1974.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 1974 is when he started.
Wow.
Okay. Because
Wow.
when I met him in 95, he had been teaching or doing this for 21 years in 95. So it was 74 that he started.
Wow. Okay. Didn't realize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 74. And he went to many conventions for that, like at the Century 21 convention, that's where he was. He was a highlighted speaker, and he did a lot of presentations in Fortune 500 companies.
Okay. So here we go. Here's the DISC. So this is, so last night I did post it, and I had a couple Keller Williams friends reach out to me. Isn't this just the DISC? Isn't that all you're going to talk about? So yes, it is the DISC.
It is DISC, but it's also in more, I think Steve put it in more
relatable.
relatable terms.
Yeah.
That's a good word, relatable terms.
Yeah.
That you could really see in real life how it would relate to you rather than DISC. I think DISC is more for employers, I think.
Yes. So now think about this for a second as to why all my Keller Williams friends always bring this up and why Keller Williams teaches it. what does Keller Williams do that now many companies, real estate offices do it, but what did they do that others didn't first? Team. So they want to know when they hire an agent, they want to know what type of agent they have to put them in the right environment to thrive. Fair enough? So we've got in the top left, we have the dominant. It says direct, decisive, the doer, the domineering type, the demanding type. It all makes sense, right? Everything we talked about the Sherman tank is right there. The influential in the top right, inspirational, interactive, interesting, impulsive, irritating. Okay. There you go. Oh, they're all eyes. I just realized that. Look at that. I've read this so many times. I haven't had to read it out loud, I guess, right? The third one in the bottom, the steady, would be someone that is stable, supportive, truly a sincere person. More on the slow side. It doesn't mean they're mentally slow. It doesn't mean they don't catch on to things. It means the pace at which they do things, their overall energy level is a little lower and just a little slower, right? Okay.
Because they're methodical.
They are. But see, the interesting part, you use the word methodical. And so you may say, shouldn't that be the detail oriented in the bottom left, which it can be. And that is also something we're going to, at the very end, I'm almost done, where you're going to see there's major themes. There's major themes going on. Okay. So the last one, the detailed, they call it compliant. Steve called it the picky. Okay. The compliant people are, like the rule followers. That's, another word. They're cautious, they're careful, they're conscientious, they're calculating. And I don't know if that's an appropriate word, but it starts with C, condescending. I don't know if, so, in each of these, there's some words that I don't think are completely appropriate, but hey, it worked for the alliteration with the letters. So I'm going to go back to energy for a second.
They are condescending.
They are?
They're often condescending.
Okay.
A true 4 is a 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually condescending.
Yeah, and you know what I didn't do? So you know how here we had a 4? On this, I should have I'll put the numbers for next time. And oh goodness, I just clicked something. Anyways, so there we go. Uh-oh, someone's trying to get in. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple themes that are here. First would be energy level. Which half is high energy? Top half or bottom half? Anybody? Top, right? Full of energy, as it says, very active. The bottom half is, I guess the opposite of active is passive. They use the word reflective because they're, they'll ponder it, they'll think about it. They're not going to make a decision as fast, right? And that's why on top, under the 2, under influential, it uses the word impulsive. And we're going to get to a couple examples in a second. Okay. So high energy, just always going on the top, and below is a little bit of lower energy, a little slower, a little more methodical, as my mom said. Okay. Now I'm going to go left and right. So on this side, on the left side, it says more task-oriented. So for example, a 1 or a dominant, they want to get stuff done. But how they go about doing that is aggressive, right? Where the 4, the compliant, the picky, the detailed at the bottom left, they also are task-oriented, but in a different way. They will probably make a list, check it off, see what they've accomplished, right? That's that sort of thing, right? On the other side is people oriented. Okay, so your influential, your twos, your social butterflies are people oriented, of course. That came out, I think, very clear. But so are the steadies, the threes, the mother hens. Although they don't want to be the life of the party, they do want to be a part of the party. They want to be included. They do want to be around people and with people and interact with people, but just not take as active of a role as a two. Fair enough? Okay. I'm going to cheat for a second. Okay, so then I showed it one more time. Dominant. So basically what I'm showing you here is I'm merging the disc with the 1, 2, 3, 4 from Steve into one. So you got the dominant, the influential in the top right, steady in the bottom right, and compliant in the bottom left. Okay, I'm going to cheat one more time. Okay, all right. So I think it's time for some real examples, some more examples. And I guess it's time that we relate it to real estate. Okay, so in terms of interacting with a client, and this Saturday class, thank you everybody for joining, by the way. This Saturday class has been about talking to people, relating to people, getting them to want to trust you, making as fast of a rapport as possible with that person in different situations, whether it's an open house, which doesn't happen, but whether it's on a phone call, whether it's at your first appointment with them, or whether it's a referral. And even if it's a referral, you still need to build that rapport as quickly as possible. So we're going to just talk for a second about the different types. So let's just say you're showing houses, since a lot of us are showing houses, and let's just see what would be how each one would want to be treated, or how each one will act in the different scenarios. So here it goes. You're taking a Sherman take, a dominant person out to see homes. If they like something, they will probably let you know it, but more than anything, it's going to have to be their decision when it comes to making that final decision to write the offer. It's going to have to come from them. Was there anything else, Mom, that I am missing with regard to when a one walks into a house? Go ahead.
A one, they're very quick to make a decision. Okay. So you don't want to show them every house. You better pare it down to 2 or 3. You better look at them first and really come up with 2 or 3 that's exactly what they asked for. Okay. You can't take that person because you cannot waste their time.
Good one.
That's the biggest thing. They want to walk in 2 or 3 houses and bang, they're going to pick one of them and buy it. And it better have all their needs and wants in it. Yeah. Do not show that person 10 houses just because.
And so I will take it back to what we've been talking about the last few weeks, and that is knowing your inventory. You better know your inventory and show them the best
more so with the dominant than with anyone else.
That's why I'm saying that. Yeah.
It's always important, but with the dominant, it's more so.
Right. Okay.
To add to that real quick,
please.
Knowing the inventory, but also remember to know your audience and how to best appeal to that person.
Absolutely. Hi, Armando.
And that's what we're doing. And that's exactly it. Well put. So the second type of person is the social butterfly, the influential. And I love when Steve said the following: you know you're going to have a sale with a 2 or an influential or a outgoing personality if you get 3 oh my gods out of a 2. Okay. So in other words, if you're in a house and they're just like, oh my God, look at the view, oh my God, look at the kitchen. Oh my God, that bathroom. Wow.
A two never hides their feelings. And by
True.
the way, the house I'm a 2, and the house I currently live in, your father laughed his head off when he heard Steve telling this in the class, because I walked in. I did not want to come into the house I currently live in. Your father made me get out and go look at it because the listing agent was waiting. And I got out, I walked in, and Catalina Island was perched in the middle of the ocean as they opened the door. And I went, oh my God, that's Catalina. And then I didn't say another word. I kept walking right to out the slider and went to the backyard and went, oh my God. And your father says, and he looked at himself and said, sold. And the house, by the way, was a wreck. It was a wreck. We had to put a ton of money in it, but anyway.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think it would also be the same in terms of showing houses to a 2, and that is, you don't want to waste their time either, because they're going to get bored real fast.
Yeah, I have a very short attention span. And the other thing that Michael hasn't said yet, but I will say it.
Go ahead.
If I don't like the salesperson, I can't do business with that person. A 2 has to like you. The rest of them don't, but I have to like you or I can't do business with you.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's true, but the likability will come out in different ways for each one, right? So the dominant will really like you and respect you if you show confidence in, you're showing what you're showing them, that you have knowledge, and that they realize that they will love you as their realtor, because
the dominant has already weeded out tons of people, and they're with you because they chose you. They don't even waste their time with someone that's going to waste their time.
Okay.
So they only work with the best, a 1.
Okay.
The dominant.
So showing houses, the third one, the steady. So this person, before you show them houses, this is the type that they're going to probably want to share with you a little bit about their life, their needs and their wants in terms of why they're buying and what they're buying. And if you're able to show them empathy to that, show support to it, and really they feel that you understand them, I think you have a client. You really do. Is that fair, Mom?
Yeah, it has to be practical. It has to make sense for a 3, for a steady, and there has to be value to that house. It better be priced right, or don't take them there.
Right.
They want value. They want it practical.
Right.
They're not showy, where influential is showy. And so is a dominant. They're showy.
And with the bottom half versus the top, we're starting to get to even the type of houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a 1 and a 2, or the dominant and the influential on the top, is going to be those that probably are going to buy those mini mansions in Downey, right? Want to show.
It's all about, for a 1 and a 2, it's all about the show. Does it look good? Are they going to look good in it? And you can also take it to the type of car. We talked about Priuses with the steady. Dominant, you can tell right away, they always drive a black car.
I got
Always.
one. I got one.
Go ahead. What?
They like raised, like a raised car, with big
It's
wheels.
Big. It's big, but it's also black.
Black.
It's always going to be black.
Yeah.
I also have driven many black cars, but that's why I love red. I'm showy. I bought a Mercedes convertible. It was red, honey. Right? It was too.
Yeah.
Okay, where the steadies are Priuses, Hondas, and the house would go along with it. They don't want showy. They want basic, practical, and a lot of value for their money.
Right. And we've talked a lot about like when it comes to, and these days it's so tough to get an offer accepted. And part of getting an offer accepted is for that person to really trust you, right? So
Correct.
with this person, especially if they trust you when you tell them what to do, if they like the house, that they will take your advice. They will take your advice.
But they're going to sleep on it.
True. That's
They're
true.
slow to make a decision.
True.
A steady will sleep on it.
Right.
They never make a decision that day.
Okay, so the last one. The last one's the detailed one. They use the word compliant, just meaning that they follow rules, but they will look at all the detail. When you show them houses, they can take a lot of houses because they're processing it all, and they would like to see more houses because, again, like the 3 that doesn't want to make a decision fast, this one is going to need to see a lot of houses for many reasons. Maybe to get an idea of value of the house. Maybe to get an idea. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a lot of it. Also, they feel like, well, I can't buy a house on the first one. That would be,
Right. And they're not sure the compliant is the least likely to trust you. They have a lot of trust issues.
yes.
They don't trust very easily, a compliant. The 4 is very slow to trust. So they want to make sure you're not holding out on them. So, how do they know at this point, like the first day of showing houses,
That they can
they
trust.
want to make sure that they didn't miss anything, that you're not holding out on them.
Right. So
So
when
that's
it
why they
co-
want to see a lot.
what do you say?
That's why they want to see a lot of homes.
Yes. So the 4, it may be obvious, but the 4 is going to want to see data. They're the ones that, although they will take your opinion, you better back it up with a market analysis. If you're going to tell them how much the house is worth, that type wants to see a market analysis. And I find myself when I'm talking to buyers about, hey, what should we offer? With a 2, I will never show them data. I will just tell them what I think. Maybe I'll reference, I did a market analysis and this is what I think it's worth. I'll never show them the data. They'll just take my word for it if they trust me, but I'll never show it. The 4 wants to see it. The compliant, the detail oriented in the bottom left, they want to see the data. They will be the type that will ask for the last 2 or 3 months worth of gas and electric bills. If the house has a pool, they want to see what the electric bill is just to get a feel for how much more their electricity bill is going to be versus not having it. Fair enough? So again, to review, a 1, it's got to be their idea. Don't show them too many houses. If you're going to somehow try and get them to do something, again, I can't stress it enough. Somehow figure out a way to make it their idea. Like, even though you're telling them what to do, make them feel like they told you what to do. The 2 is, more about talking and seeing houses, but being quick and
Michael,
show a bit
Michael.
of it, right?
For the ladies in the audience, if you're married, it's the way we work with our husbands. You always have to let them feel like it was their idea.
With the 1, right?
With a husband. Husbands don't like to be told what to do. Neither does a 1. So I've been married 47 and a half years. I always like to make Mel feel like it was his idea. And that's what
Applies to you, dear.
What?
The same applies to you.
Maybe.
No, maybe.
No, I like you. Fortunately, I like you, not only love you, Mel. So remember, if
Okay.
I like you, I'll do pretty much whatever you want me to do.
All right.
All right. So, and then again, that's that. A 3 needs to, as my mom said, needs to be sensible in their budget, right? And then a 4, they may go for whatever type of house, but it has to, the numbers need to make sense. Okay. All right. So I think we're good there. I think
I
we're
have a
good. Ooh,
question,
ooh.
Michael.
Yes.
So, with all of this said, with the different personalities,
Mhm.
and I know you're basing it on like the client, but what if I wanted to advertise to a certain personality type for a certain home? Do you find value in that, or just?
I do. I mean, even if it means you may alienate another type, but if you know a certain type is going to like it, I mean, I think the top two are more picture oriented, right? You know, how it looks, and you know, because they're not. Okay, let's put it this way: when you make a description of a house, you know, and I see this a lot in Orange County more, and they write a description that you know, it's just really long. You lose the people on top, right? The people on top, they just want to go look at the pictures, you know.
Teresa, Michael hasn't said it yet, and I don't want to jump the gun.
Go ahead.
But it's also, he's going to get into which one do you work best with? Does that make sense?
I wasn't going to go there today, but go ahead though.
I know, but the compliant, the number 4 of all my clients, and I sold a lot of homes, I rarely worked with a 4. I don't like them. They don't like me.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I don't give enough information to them because I'm a 2. For me, it has to be pretty. I have to like, it's got to be pretty. It has to be, there's got to be a view. It has to be a nice neighborhood. Even if whatever I can afford, it also always has to be the prettiest, nicest neighborhood for what the person can afford. A 4 wants too much data. I'm not data driven as an agent. So you also have to know who you work best with, and then you decide who you're going to go after.
Yeah, that makes sense for that. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I will be having this listing that's like, it's phenomenal, but it's like overpriced, but that's what the seller wants. So it does seem like I need to attract that wow, you know, the 1 and 2s. So I'm just wondering, do I advertise differently to get that?
Yes, I think Michael will go into that.
Okay,
as
great.
we go
I mean,
on.
Yeah,
But
I
you
mean,
also have
honestly, I
to
don't know.
know- Go ahead.
You go.
You also have to know, the reason I'm bringing it up, that you have to know the person, okay, no matter what the listing, if it's overpriced, a 3 and a 4 are not going to buy it anyway. So you're already working with the top.
True. Okay.
Buying it. Michael already said that to you. If it's overpriced, which you're never going to say, overpriced delight. You're never gonna, don't.
Yeah.
But you already lost the bottom. The top, they may, if it suits their needs, they could buy something overpriced if it suits them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll just kind of mark it to the top and do all of the things they like. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. The 3, remember, the 3 and the 4, the steady and the compliant will never buy anything that doesn't have value. Ever. Never, 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 ever.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It won't happen. Okay.
So Michael, or Rita, in that analogy, the seller, is that seller more of a dominant? Do you thinking if they're sticking on that overprice, regardless of doesn't seem like they will be a 3 or 4 based on reality.
No, they won't be. Although sometimes we've all had those sellers, the 4, the compliant, the pickies, they may talk themselves into a higher price. But it has to be their reality. They have to think they're seeing their house better, bigger, but you will be able to get to them later by saying, obviously, we're not getting offers, so our price must be wrong.
Okay.
And then you can give them the data to prove that. But they could talk themselves into, just because we're all human, right? Any of these are human, correct? So am I right, Michael?
Yeah.
The 4s to talk themselves into it, but you can untalk them into it, if that's a word. Okay, you can talk them out of it with data.
Okay.
Okay, where the ones and the twos, if they think so, you're done. You can't move them with data. Am I right, Michael?
Yeah, but I'm going to take pricing a different way. I'm going to take pricing as on this circle here. The right side for me, in my experience, the right side will listen to me and let me price it where I want. And I've just over the years have had less problems with the right
You might
side.
be right, Michael. You might be right.
Com-
Well,
com-
the one doesn't want to waste time. The dominant doesn't want,
but-
don't waste my time.
But the one thinks that they're better than me. Okay.
Absolutely. It's
So-
smarter.
And
Smarter.
they have a badass house that they think is worth a lot. And so I find myself a lot of times they will overprice, and to get them down is damn hard because they're just stubborn about it. Now, the problem with the 4, why also when I have overpriced listings that don't sell, the problem with the 4 is they're doing data, but they're doing it wrong, but they think they're right. They're busting out the price per square foot using a
Because
2-bedroom, 1 bath.
Because they've talked themselves into it that is better. The 4 can talk themselves into it. Even if you give them data, they're going to argue with the data, right? That's what you're saying.
I mean, if you give a 4, I have found
Michael?
because I,
Michael,
yes,
are you in my office?
yes.
Would you move the wine bottle's killing me? It looks like I'm a wino.
Oh, gosh.
The wine bottle, there's 2 wine bottles behind you and it's killing me the whole
3.
time.
3.
Sound like a
3, you
true
boozer.
mother. That was a mother moment, man. Are you at my?
I know.
I love
It was
it.
a mother moment. I know.
You're supposed to say not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's right.
You're supposed to put that in a private chat.
I'm sorry. I don't even know how to do that.
Steven last week wanted to know why I don't open them during the sessions, but
That's
Oh.
funny. So on the green, seems like the green person would more likely be saying, this is what I paid for these features, therefore I should be getting the benefit of it. They're putting money numbers, associating money, and they want to justify it, no matter how old it is.
well, but a 3 will listen. The problem with this is a 3 is more likely to listen and be sensible to
The 3s are reasonable. They're extremely reasonable people.
the 4, going back to that though, Edith, the 4, if you said like, this is how much I paid, it takes a while to get them to understand that what you put into a backyard, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see all that money back. And so they're the type that are more likely to add up the receipts and then want, so
Right.
if the comps are 700,000 and they put in 150 into their backyard, they feel they should get 850. And there's no turning back. There's no, explaining to them that there are certain things you do, putting sprinklers in, putting decent landscaping in. You're not going to see value. Like it's understood you're going to have it, right? But anyways, or hardscape, things like that. It's again, I'm reading. The 4 wants to know how much the seller paid for the house 25 years ago. Yes, they do. Because they think it matters. That's right. Totally.
Who wrote that?
That
Who wrote-
side is
That was Fernando.
that was Fernando. Yes. And that's
Fernando.
very right. My point is this. When I have problems when it comes to pricing, it is always on the left side for different reasons. The bottom left, the detailed, is because they interpret the data wrong, but they think they're realtors because of, all these online stuff. And this even before
Well,
online.
remember, they're doing the same thing with their doctor, their lawyer, their everybody. It's
Right.
not just us. That's
Right. And again,
how they everywhere.
and again, the one is just damn right. And if I want to start at 850 and you think it's 700, you know what? I want to try this. You know, you're not going to change my mind on it. I know someone's going to pay for it. There were multiple offers when I bought it in 2006 and it's like 2011. There were multiple offers, you know, but anyways, okay. So it is 10. I did not get through everything. We're gonna start relating this more to. I was actually gonna go in a different direction, but I think it's important that we relate this back to real estate the way we've been doing it. And then I will go into. So here's the thing.
They need to take the test.
Yes,
so they can see how this
that's why.
relates.
Right.
This is to see. They need to see how it relates to them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get that out. And again, I have found some other really good ones. So here's one last thing before when we get to the test, okay? So does everyone here recognize that you probably have a primary trait or a primary one of these that is you? However,
Who thinks they know what they are right now?
I think I'm a 3.
I would agree with that.
Just the way you said that, Julie, you are. Because a 2 or a 1 would have said, I'm a 1. I'm a 2. Right? Gabe?
Yeah.
Gabe, you have something? I thought he was going to say something. Sorry.
I'm kind of a combination, so
right.
We all are, though.
yeah. But when I took the test,
you're a 2-3.
yeah, when I took the test, and that one that says what you could be or whatever, I was like straight across, which I was kind of proud of, because you're kind of. I remember Steve saying you're kind of chameleon-like. You can adapt to whoever, you know. So okay, I'll take that.
Yeah,
That's why you're the perfect salesperson, Gabe.
I don't know about that, but okay.
You are.
And I started.
You're the stereotypical salesperson. You're a chameleon. So am I.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But in general, the typical, if you want to say typical, or the stereotype real estate agent, if you had to give one of the 4 of these, it would be the 2, right? But if it's just a 2, but they don't have any 3 or 4 in them, maybe they won't do as well, right? Because they won't be detailed enough to get their transactions together, or what have you, or what have you. And so there's different aspects that makes it really, really, really interesting. So
can I add one more
please.
thing? You know, we've had. I mean, I sat through the class several times, and every time you kind of something else pops out at you. But one thing that I always remember that Steve would say was that about, you know, we all know the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And he said, that's baloney. He says, do unto others as they want to be done unto. And that was the whole purpose, figuring out what personality they were and treat them as such. Because one approach doesn't work for everybody else.
Yep.
Right.
And so who's the guy that I'm gonna forget it. It's in my notes. It's in my notes. The guy that wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Dale Carnegie.
It's not Dale Carnegie. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
Sorry.
You question your mother?
No,
sir?
it's
I'm just
Or
kidding.
Napoleon Hill.
Thank you. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. So he wrote that book, but he also wrote The Law of Success. Okay. And he wrote like a 15, 16 part bunch of books. There was lesson 10 was on personalities, and another one basically said exactly what you just said. Exactly what you just said about relating to the person and treating them the way they want to be treated. There's another book called The Like Switch that basically is exactly that. How to do to them how they want to be treated. there's another book called The Platinum Rule, that it's going to take all of this and break it each quadrant down a little more into 4 more quadrants. And so the part about this that's kind of interesting is, yeah, we may have a primary, but we also, many of us are not just a solid 2 or a solid 4 or what have you. We're kind of a blend. And so what's happened over the years is they've made those blends into more personality types so that you don't have, like, as we've been talking all these years, a 2, 3, 4, which is totally fine, but it's been broken down over the years. And then they take it into how to deal with people. And that's what we're going to talk about and all that kind of stuff. So there may be, I may do a couple tests. And Mom, did you send me just now, or Dad,
Yes, I did.
a test?
No, I sent you the video, the audio,
The audio.
okay,
Okay.
which will
All right.
help you along.
All right. So, so for sake of time, I think we'll stop there, and we will continue with this. At this rate, this will be a 10-week course.
Michael, Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Dale Carnegie wrote what you said.
How to
win.
influence people.
And yeah,
Got it. All right.
and a lot of people do confuse those.
Yeah. And so who was the?
Michael,
Yes.
I also have the Steve Bonicki test if you need it.
Oh, we're gonna take it because I have.
A blind
Perfect.
test.
I'm gonna take 2 others. I have 2 others, but I
Okay.
think for this,
I don't know if
I
you,
think that
why
would
do
be
you
a
want to,
perfect one.
Michael, why are you muddying the waters? Do one test.
That's fine.
Sorry,
It's all
I
good.
don't
It's
want
all good.
I don't want to question the teacher, but I think you're going to muddy the waters.
All right. All right. Okay. So who did law of success that I just was Napoleon Hill, right? Okay.
Right. hmm
All right.
And
Good.
Think and Grow Rich was Napoleon Hill.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Mom and Dad, for being helping me.
You got us up on Saturday morning. We're always up.
You're always up.
I didn't go out with the gardener today.
All right. Good deal. Well, thank you guys for joining. Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hi,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you, Michael.
All
Bye,
right.
thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good
Have
weekend.
day.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Damon.
Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, Jessica.